Alright, hello everyone, Adrenaluke here. You guys might have remembered a video I put out not too long ago about my very first league race in sim racing. Now, I'm still a part of that league. It's called DRSL and Driver's Room. They do 30-minute endurance races every Sunday. Now, the race that I did not too long ago on my channel, that was a different season, because they just now started a fresh new season. Since I only did one race in the past season, obviously I wasn't really going for points, I was just trying to get my feet wet. Now, I am able to do 4 out of the 8 rounds of this new season, and this was the first round out of the 8, but first out of 4 that I will be able to participate in. So I'm trying to make the most out of those 4 races that I will be able to do in this season. Since I have surgery coming up, that's why I can't do races 5 through 8, but I will be able to do races 1 through 4 in this new season. So, round number 1 here that you're watching, this was a NASCAR-themed race. Obviously, as you can see, it's at the Daytona Oval. We needed to have NASCAR-themed liveries for this race, and as you can see on the top right of the screen, I'm very proud of what I put together for my livery. I'm probably going to lose a lot of subscribers when I say this, but I'm really not a fan of NASCAR at all. I don't follow that sport whatsoever, but I am a fan of the movie Talladega Nights. So I designed the number 26 Wonder Bread car that the fictional character Ricky Bobby drives in the movie Talladega Nights, played by Will Ferrell. It's a pretty funny movie. If you guys haven't watched it, you really need to watch it. You don't know what you're missing. The movie is hilarious. But yeah, this was the first round of the new season. Like I said, it went pretty well. Now, you might notice, in my other league race that I recorded, you got to see me in the bottom left of the screen. You got to see me on camera. And it was kind of like a live, not live kind of format. And yeah, I have an explanation for exactly why you don't see me on the bottom left of the screen on camera this time, and that is because the lobbies are very broken right now. The most recent update that's come out in this game are so ridiculous with the lobbies now. If you guys have seen my video of Spin the Wheel episode 6 with the Teslas at Fuji, I was complaining in that video about how it took us forever. I think it took us over half an hour to try to start a lobby there with only about 8 people. And now we had 14 people in this lobby, and it took us over 50 minutes to get the race started. But this is a league race. This is, you know, competitive. It goes for points over a season. And so keep in mind, every time they put up a new lobby, because they couldn't get one to start, and they're like, we're going to put this lobby down, we'll try a new lobby. That's a different qualifying session that people have been doing that whole time. It's just wasted efforts. All the qualifying sessions we were doing would just be wasted, and I had pole position on most of them. So we had to end up just when we finally got it to work, I stopped trying to record with my camera because I would be like, okay, that take's not going to work because I had to shut down the lobby, let me try this take. And then I would just try to redo a take, and I would just go to the camera again like, alright, hello everyone, Adrenaluke here, blah 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 blah, and be talking to the camera a lot. And then they would just say the race can't start, we gotta shut down the lobby. And I was like, okay, so now try a different take, and they'll do all that over again. And then they say, oh, this lobby's not gonna work, we gotta try a different one. And so you're getting the point here. I had to just stop trying with the camera because eventually it was unpredictable which attempt of the lobbies was actually going to work and when the race would actually start. And so I didn't want to keep trying takes and trying takes and trying takes because I have to like prepare that. I have to hit like, you know, 5 different buttons before I get the camera rolling and then start to talk, you know? And I don't want to scramble to do that once I figured out that they finally got it to work. So that's why you don't see my camera on the bottom left this time. I'm sorry, guys. So the lobbies are just a mess right now. They really, really are a mess. And I'm hoping when I record for Episode 7 of Spin the Wheel on this upcoming Wednesday. It is Monday at the time of me recording this. I'm not sure when this video is going to be uploaded. I'm really hoping at that time that the lobbies are not going to be so broken as to where it's just going to be a nightmare for us trying to start the lobbies. Then it probably will be I've ranted enough about the lobbies though, but I did hear that there was a lot of lag for everyone else involved in this race. Now, do keep in mind though, since we didn't do a qualifying session because it was just such a mess to get the race started in general and over 50 minutes of trying, I didn't have pole position because of that. I would have had pole position if we did the qualifying session. I had pole position on them. So I was a little upset about that, but I didn't start too far back in the grid though. So I did luck out kind of there, and I took the lead very quickly in the start of the race. I haven't really been talking much about what's going on with the action as far as the race is concerned. So I guess I'll get to that now. And I guess while I was rambling a lot, if you guys were paying attention to what was going on in the race, you could have noticed that at the very beginning laps, when I was pulling ahead from everyone, okay, I might butcher your username because I'm really not sure how to pronounce it. Is it Munginho or Munginho? But you get the idea. That guy, he was in P2 at the time. He was in second place for a little bit at the start, and he was giving me a bump draft. He was trying to separate me and him from the rest of the pack, and that was going well for a bit until there was somebody right near the back corner of his car that made contact with him, and he spun. So, man, I'm sorry to hear that, but things went more south for him later on in the race, where he actually ended up, I don't even know how to describe this, but he ended up like 30,000 feet in the air, and his speedometer went past 2,000 miles per hour. It's like a short video on his YouTube channel, and I'll put a link of that short clip in the description so you guys can see what happened to him, just to give you an idea of how broken the GT7 lobbies are right now. He ended up like 30,000 feet in the air, and his speedometer went past 2,000 miles per hour. And if you look at the top right of the screen on his clip, you see the arrow, the red arrow that represents where he is on the track map. That thing just starts getting huge because he's going so high up in the air. It makes no sense. And the cherry on top is that he was getting penalties for ignoring the track limits. And so, I mean, of course he's not on the track limits because the game itself just teleported him, you know, up to the heavens apparently, and he was just that high up in the sky. And then he just randomly appears back on the track out of nowhere again, just teleports right back, and then he's got 30 seconds worth of penalties. So I have no idea why that even happened. It was a very bizarre glitch and bug. I'm going to put a link of that clip again in the description. You guys check that out. I think it's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. It is just, I have no explanation for it. Oh, and right about here, this is when Ricky Bobby said, "I want to go fast." And so he started going really fast, and this footage isn't even sped up. Like Ricky Bobby just said, "I want to go fast," and he went fast. I mean, look at this. Like, it's unbelievable how fast he started driving. I mean, my gosh. Obviously, it is sped up, guys. Not much action happened other than me just maintaining the lead for quite a while, and we'll resume normal speed right here on lap 16 now. And there's a little bit of lapped traffic ahead of me. And it looks like there's a yellow flag. There was an instance ahead of me there. You could see it on the end of the back straight. And so having to weave my way around some traffic there. Looks like there's a penalty dish out to somebody. And right there, that guy who I just weaved around, he's going to do something that I think was just not cool later on in the race. And I am going to point that out. So let's fast forward. Keep in mind the guy that I just weaved past right there. But okay, we're going to fast forward just one lap later to lap 18 here. Okay, so now we're approaching the same guy who I had to weave around earlier, but keep in mind, he is lap traffic. I'm in first place right now, and look what he does. I approach him, and he quickly cuts to the inside, and I have to weave around him on the outside, hitting the wall. I just want to say, man, okay, I get that you could have made a mistake, and you could have thought that I was somebody that didn't overlap you, and you try to defend, and you cut towards the inside, but please pay attention to if it's a blue flag, because for those of you that don't know, when there's a blue flag, you're supposed to let people that have overlapped you pass. Is what a blue flag means. And it should, on Gran Turismo 7, it should flash a blue flag warning when a overlapped car is approaching you or a car that's lapped you is approaching you, on the screen it should flash a blue flag warning. I don't know exactly how it's worded, but it should be something along the lines of faster car approaching or whatever. But that kind of slowed me down. I nicked the wall there. But what's an even bigger issue is what's about to happen coming up here pretty soon now, because we're near the end of the stint. And okay, so here's the thing. When I was practicing for this lobby, and I get that at the end of the day this is my fault, but when they have all the race settings posted on their Discord, I didn't know that under the tires section they'll say that there's 80% fuel capacity for this race. I didn't think a fuel setting would be under the tires section. I understand. Basically what happened is that they ran out of room because there's so many custom settings for this race. So I totally missed that, and I was practicing completely different stints. So watch this. Right here it shows me that I only have half a lap of fuel left, and I didn't catch that in time because I was so used to practicing with a full fuel load in my tank. So I'm like, whoa. So I just quickly changed my fuel mapping to all the way lean instead of power, just a fuel mapping of 6. I just flipped that sucker like real fast there, and watch my speed drop all the way down now to the low 190s. And even the traffic that I've overlapped is now just breezing right past me. Look at that. That's so bad. And so this lap here made me suffer a lot, and I was brave enough to put it down to a 5 there, and then I quickly flipped it back to a 6. And look at the fuel. It says 0%, and look at the remaining laps. It goes from 0.1, and it says remaining laps 0.0. I run out of fuel right there, and I roll into the pit stop. Oh my god. That was a disaster, and my heart was pumping so fast when that happened. I had to act just quickly. I didn't know what to do, and that was just improv. I was improvising as I went on there because I got that short warning right before it that it's like, hey, your stint's over. It tells me that right when I'm in the face of the pit entry. Oh my gosh. Like, I get that that's my own mistake, and I should have noticed that the fuel capacity being at 80% should have been under tires. Now, look at P1. He's in, I think, it's just 23 seconds ahead here. Now, Trout passes me there, and I ultimately blame that on the fact that my last lap of my first stint was just horrible because of that disaster of what happened, that catastrophe of me having to do drastic fuel saving. And so, Trout, if you're wondering why you just flew past me now, you know. That was not the best moment of this race at all for me. But something really bizarre happens with P1 up here. Now, P1 was a little late for his pit stop, so he was going to be, I think, 1 or 2 laps late towards his pit stop. He must have been fuel saving a little bit more than me, but he must have done it, you know, throughout the race, not just trying to barge all the fuel saving into one single lap because of a panic of what I did. But anyways, that's besides the point. So he was 23 seconds ahead of me when I was in P2 even, and he's 25 seconds ahead of me right now when I'm in P3. The reason he's so far ahead of me and Trout right now is because he hasn't done his pit stop yet. But when he tries to do his pit stop, he goes 30,000 feet in the air, and his speedometer goes past 2,000 miles per hour, and he's just spinning 30,000 feet in the air. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in this game. Never in anything related to Gran Turismo 7 have I ever seen anything like that. Again, guys, I'm going to have a link in the description of what happened to, I really don't know how to pronounce his username, Munginho, I think. I'm going to have a link in the description where it's a very short clip. It's about a minute long. You guys can watch it and just get an idea of how severe of a glitch and bug of what happened to him. I feel really bad for him because I really feel like he could have landed a podium finish in this race. He probably would have been in the top 3. So that's just, like, look, he just suddenly, see how it says his P box there with the P for pitting? It keeps flashing on and off for him, and he just dropped way down past 8th place all of a sudden. But it's like he was in the pits and not in the pits. So it was flashing pit, like over and over, like it didn't know if he was in the pits or not. Yeah, he was currently 30,000 feet above all of us. His car just teleported way up there. So it's just really strange. You guys gotta check out that video from his perspective. I'll have the link to that in the description. But yeah, I just have no words more to describe it. I don't know what else to say. It's just really weird. Very, very weird. Anyways, by this point, I got one person ahead of me that is overlapped. That boss guy again. The same guy who I wasn't too pleased with earlier when we defended under a blue flag, but I'm hoping he won't do that again, which he actually does not, to his credit. See there, he gives me room to pass. I think what could have happened is that, see there, I think he actually recognized that I'm lapped, and so, or that I've overlapped him, I mean. And so he actually let me pass there. And see, all I'm trying to do now, I'm catching right up to Trout, and it's just a battle for the lead again. I was leading for the whole race pretty much up until this point, and so now, you know, Trout's doing the usual in an oval race. I mean, he's going to be, see, I nicked the wall there, though. The slipstream's pretty huge in this. When you're going at these speeds in an oval race, the slipstreams are going to be huge. And so I'm just definitely trying to get a slipstream behind him, but that's what sucked me into the wall back there. So I tried to pass around the outside, and you have to be very minimal in your steering movements in oval races. You don't want to do any sudden movements on the steering, so you can't turn too sharp. So that's why if you're going towards the wall, you don't want to turn the wheel too sharp to avoid hitting the wall, because that can turn sour real fast. But see, I got a slipstream on here on him. He's on the inside though, so I'm traveling a further distance around this long turn, and it doesn't quite work. So a lot of this is just me trying and trying again to pass him now. I'm just waiting for the right moment, but I got the slipstream behind him this whole time. So I'm keeping pressure on him. I'm right behind his rear bumper this whole time. And see, even there, I'm on the outside, but am I going to be able to make it work this time? Well, looks like I have to pull back for a slipstream again. See, a lot of this is just me, again, I'm just going for any opportunity I can. When it doesn't work, I just pull back again and get a slipstream and then go to the outside again and try. Look at this, we're side by side, going down the back straight almost. Looks like we're having a drag race here. I'm pulling up right to the side of him, but again, he has the inside. Now look at this, lap traffic right there. That was, I think, the guy that ended up way in the air, so I think his game's really bugged there. Now Trout picked up a penalty there. He must have passed through the double yellow slightly or something. And it gives him a half-second penalty, and as soon as I see that, I know that it's over. I'm going to be able to pass him because of that. So I'm still staying side by side by him, and as soon as he has to serve that penalty, I'm just going to fly past him. So I'll go ahead and just fast forward to where he has to serve his penalty. Actually, I think it'll be right here, so I don't have to fast forward at all. Yep, right there. Look at that. I fly right past him. And it looks like there was about 8 minutes and 40 seconds left of the race by this point. So we're on lap number 29. And I'm right back in the lead again. I led the most laps out of anyone this whole race so far. So I have a lot of confidence right now. And I know that I can just pretty much just try to maintain the lead from here. I don't have to worry about fuel saving at all. I just leave my fuel mapping at 1, full power. And I know that I have enough fuel to actually last for the rest of this stint. It's just a 2-stint race. That's pretty much what all the, I've noticed that all the races that they do in this DRSL, even though I've only done 2 of them so far, just from me having conversations with everyone, I've learned that it's either a no stop or a 2-stint. You're never going to do 3 stints in these. They're all just 30 minutes. But anyways, that's besides the point. Right now, I still got about a half-a-second gap established from me, but Trout's going to catch up pretty soon. And I'll go ahead and just fast forward near the end and let you guys witness the battle that me and Trout had. So I'll go ahead and fast forward now. Well, that didn't take very long, did it? I really didn't have to fast forward that long because Trout managed to catch up enough to where he was within the same 1/10 of a second of me on the end of the very same lap that I decided to fast forward in the first place. So well done, Trout. You caught up very fast. Now, guys, I want to pull your attention to something different here. Remember how there was somebody on lap number 18 in this race that I thought ignored a blue flag, and it kind of irritated me a little bit. Now, the same thing happens again with a different driver up here, so pay attention up here. This orange car ahead of me, not him, but this guy up here, watch this. He's lapped. Look at that. See how he cut towards the inside? Not cool, man. I mean, you're P6, and look at how many of us had to grind against the, like, so many people behind me then had to grind against the wall, hitting the wall some. See, like, Trout's a lot further behind me now because of that. You're interfering with the race when you do that. If you're P6 and the top 3 are approaching you, especially the leader, you pull to the side. Well, You didn't have to pull anywhere. You were already on the outside. You should have just stayed there, man. And I mean this in the nicest way if you're watching this. Like, I'm not trying to start any beef or anything. I'm just saying, like, pay more attention, man, because that can interfere with the race. You know what I'm saying? Like, not cool, man. But anyways, so we got about a little over 5 minutes left of the race. And honestly, the battle that me and Trout had for these last five or so minutes of the race is pretty epic. So pay close attention to the radar on the bottom right and the replay on the top right, and you can see just how close Trout was getting to passing me a lot of different times. And yeah, sit back, grab some popcorn, and just enjoy this epic battle that we have, guys. All right, you guys have seen that me and Trout have been keeping it very close this whole time, and now we are on the final lap of the whole race, as I am the race leader, and the timer is about to run out. In endurance race terms, that means this is the last lap. Trout has been keeping the pressure behind me this entire time. He's looking for any slight opportunity he can get, and he will jump on that right away when it presents itself. He is desperate to pass me. He's within 5/1000ths of a second behind me there, and he passes me barely, just slightly. Right there you saw him at P1 on the leaderboard, but I take it right back as I was on the inside. We got lap traffic ahead of us. Is he going to get in the way as we're approaching the finish line right here on the final lap? What is going to happen? And here we go. The checkered flag is waving. Let's see this. Wow. What a finish. Trout, you put the pressure on me that whole time, man. Good race. I got to hand it to you. Very good race. And that was close. You still finished only 0.08 of a second behind me. Very good racing, man. That was a very good battle. And you almost took that victory because you passed me just slightly near the end there. But Ricky Bobby came home with that victory. Ricky Bobby took home that shake and bake. And he wasn't going to let you pass the shake and bake, baby. Because, see, if you ain't first, you're last. And you know, the press was coming up to me to interview me after my victory here at the Daytona, and I was telling the press, here's the deal, I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I wake up in the morning and I piss excellence. Sorry guys, I had to. You gotta admit, that Ricky Bobby livery I made, I made that. I designed that myself, the whole thing. It's pretty nice, isn't it? I mean, come on, give me some credit here. But, yeah, this was a pretty well race, a good start to the season, the new season in DRSL. I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season goes. Please subscribe if you haven't, guys. Please smash that like button. Race fast, race clean, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Game over.